What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hoop Chatter. This is episode 17, and as you can see, I got my boy Rob McPherson with me once again, per usual. We lost Ant Gill, we lost Kevin Tarker yesterday, but Cameron Badger is back with us to discuss a similar topic to yesterday, but a little more specific. We're talking NBA point guards of all time. If you can see on your screen, those of you who are listening, you can't see, so we'll be sure to verbalize everything that's going on. But those of you who are watching, thank you for liking, subscribing, and viewing us on YouTube. This is our second ever YouTube special, hour-long special. We probably won't go for an hour today. Yesterday was an hour. I'm anticipating 30 to 45 minutes, but long story short, this is our second time in a row on YouTube for you all with an extended episode, so we're really excited to bring you some powerful basketball content. I'm excited to have Cam on the show today because he can give his point guard perspective, someone who has played point guard his whole career, right? Cam, you've never played any other position?
Yeah, point guard. That's about it.
Ride or die point guard, right? So with all that being said, we are going to address this bracket that Rob found a couple days ago. He sent it to me. It immediately piqued my interest. Rob, do me a favor, man. Just bust down a full list or just read the bracket out loud for those listening over the air and that cannot see the screen.
Yeah, of course, man. So in the number one spot, the number one top of the list matchup, we got Magic Johnson versus Penny Hardaway. The next slot down, the 9 versus 8 matchup is Steve Nash coming at 9 versus Jay Kidd. 5 and 12, John Stockton versus Russell Westbrook. We then go to Bob Cousy versus Jerry West, the 13 and 4 matchup. Oscar Robertson coming in at 3 versus Walt Frazier at 14. We have Derrick Rose at 11 versus Chris Paul at 6. Allen Iverson at 7, Isaiah Thomas at 10. And then Gary Payton at 15, Steph Curry at 2.
So listen, if you're hearing that, don't worry about trying to memorize it. We're going to reiterate the bracket structure every time we, address a particular matchup. All right, we will be updating the tournament sheet or the bracket live. I'm very excited to have Cam on too because Rob and I actually already went over this bracket leisurely over the phone. We already have our agreements and disagreements ready, but Cam's going to add that third perspective, which is always helpful when you got to break a split and make a determination. So yesterday we had 4 people with Gil on the line, and there was some ties and stalemates, which we never like ties and stalemates. I'd rather lose than tie. I want to get the win. I want to get the dub. So with all that being said, before we get started, Cam, how you doing today, bro?
I'm good. It's not so sunny in Southern California right now, so we're getting a lot of rain, but we need it. But everything's good, man. Can't complain.
So everybody who was if they didn't listen to the last episode, reintroduce yourself real quick.
Cam Badger, friend of the show, frequent listener, not first time, but frequent listener. Yeah, friend of the show. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah. So those of you who don't know, Cam was actually we didn't play on the same high school team, but we went to the same high school, if that makes sense. We were on 2 different teams because the school that we were at, I was on the postgraduate team. He was on the undergrad's not the term, but I don't know. He was on the regular high school team. Traditional high school team. So Cam was my roommate, though. We were roommates. So we've been roommates longer than he's been my point guard, but we ended up going to the same college. And he ended up being my point guard, and that's where we met Rob, who you're seeing at the bottom of your screen. Right. So, Rob, how you doing, bro?
Hanging in there, man, trying to stay as sane as possible. And this is definitely helping. Able to talk some hoops with some old friends that we've known for more than 10 years now. Or will it be 10 in September? Cam is more than 10. But. Nah, bro, we passed 10. This is going on 11 now.
We're past 10. Yeah, it's going on 11.
Oh, yeah.
It's going on 11, bro.
9. Oh, man. That's why I got the hat on. Everybody got a hat on. A, ain't no haircuts, but B, you can't see this bald head right now. See my real age.
I'm still thriving out here, bro.
Just still young. I can't even do
hairline. Come on, man.
Nah, y'all don't need to see my hair. We good.
All right, bro. So
We don't need to see that.
with all that being said, let's dive right in for the sake of time. We went 9 minutes over the limit yesterday, so we got to make up for that today. So with all that being said, wow, that's Tarka pinging us. He just sent us the invite for the shoot tomorrow. But anyway, look, number 1 seed Magic Johnson versus the 16 seed Penny Hardaway. Now let's address something because Rob and I were talking about this. Looking at this, Cam, are you addressing this like in a one-on-one matchup, or you are addressing this like career, like who's your better point guard?
Yeah,
total career, and I'm looking at it too from. If I had to compare the two, I'd have to do them early in their career too, because when they both came in, they've had a top 50 or a Hall of Famer center, with Penny having Shaq, Magic having Kareem. So, I mean, it's still a pretty easy decision for me.
Yeah,
I'm going Magic on that one.
Yeah. I don't have him busting. I don't have him beating him like that, but I have with the edge.
I mean, okay. So it's unanimous Magic, but why don't you have? That's not a landslide to you. I mean, it's the 1 seed versus 16 seed.
It's not a landslide because Penny.
Magic has accolades. Magic changed the game. Penny played for. I think you're the one that told me he played for what, 4 years? No, he played longer, but
his real career was like them 4 or 5 years in Orlando. After that, it went downhill. I mean, injuries robbed him. But he's a guy I look at like Grant Hill, who, if they were to stay healthy, bro, they could have been one of the top 50
but there's
best
a lot
players of all time, in my opinion.
We could.
Yeah, you don't say that with a lot of people, bro. Like the potential Penny had at that time.
I mean, Magic had potential too. Magic got sick and career was cut short as well.
Yeah, but his 10, 11 years already outlived what people thought he could do, right? Like he saved the NBA, got 5 rings, ran an entire decade.
Yeah, but like one has 5 rings, one has none.
But with Penny, you got to remember he went to the finals in what, 95, 94, 95. That was his second year in the league with Shaq, and then 3 years later, he wasn't the same. You see what I'm saying? Like he was on the path to greatness.
That's all the reason why I think it's a landslide here.
That's why
I have to make everything a good matchup on here.
Everything's not. Everything's not. But we're talking primes, bro. You take Penny from his prime versus Magic in his, bro. I think it's a lot closer than
are we talking prime versus prime, or are we talking who had the better career?
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm looking at these
Penny's career is garbage. Like,
right. So he's not on this because of that. He's on here because of his prime. So I'm looking at it like guys in their prime. That's their best version of themselves. That's how I'm looking at it.
All right. So are we all going Magic Johnson?
Yeah.
Magic unanimous 3-0. Magic Johnson. Kate's gonna update it here on the bracket. So Magic Johnson played Penny Hardaway. And Magic Johnson won. Next bracket, and I love this one. Steve Nash versus Jason Kidd. This is the 9 seed versus the 8 seed. This might be this is probably going to take us a little time. Kim, who you got?
I'm going J Kidd. Going J Kidd, man. From his time in Jersey, and the great thing that I got to grow up going to the games, going up to Newark and watching him play. Those were legendary days, man, with J Kidd, Kenya, who else is the nice guy? Richard Jefferson.
Kenya Martin.
Who am I missing? Kenya Martin was on that team. They had a squad, but J Kidd, the way he could change pace, people forget that, how fast he could change pace.
His passing
even to watching him, when he was in Oakland, coming up in the Bay, at a high school and at UCLA, he was a problem. And Steve Nash is great. Don't get me wrong, Steve Nash is great, but that championship that they got in Dallas, and he's a top 3, top 5 all-time 3-point made. I'm going J Kidd.
See, I like J Kidd for the same reasons. I like the way J Kidd plays better. Nash was more like pick and roll, John Stockton style. J Kidd was like fast break. Let's get this joint jumping, which I love because I was a run the floor kind of player. So I only could imagine playing with J Kidd. But with all that being said, J Kidd has the ring too. Right, but Nash got 3 MVPs?
2 that he don't really deserve, if we honest. But
I know he don't. With Kobe in the league, the same year that Kobe was averaging what?
35. You feel me? Like 35.
Yeah. Bro. Okay. So, what's your pick, Rob? Before I say my pick.
I mean, them two head-to-head. This is really tough, man, because I could really go either way on it. to make it interesting, I'm gonna say Steve Nash.
Oh my God! Why you got to make it interesting?
Make it interesting. Steve Nash with the upset, man. Like,
and why do you have Nash in the upset?
Just the fact the way the dude handles the ball, how crafty and creative he is. He could shoot the lights out. He's a guy that late in games can knock down free throws. Was like 90% or close to 90% from his career. Could shoot the three. Was quick, heady, controlled the game.
Jason Kidd got he was on with Kobe and Bron and them on the Redeem team too.
Yeah, I just think Steve Nash offensively was
took one shot.
I just think Steve Nash offensively was a little bit better. Like Kidd was good, but Kidd got that three really later kind of in his career. Like he had to work and develop that. Nash always had that.
He has more threes than Nash, right?
And Nash as a scorer to me is just more natural. Just how he plays offensively and goes and attacks and can pick his spots.
Here's what I'm looking at with Nash, right? Nash was with Dirk. He was with Amari.
Yeah.
No rings, right? So, like, I'm looking at if you swap J. Kidd and Nash teams.
Nope, they're not getting it at that time. You got Kobe and Shaq on one side and the Spurs on another.
What do you mean? J. Kidd has one. That's what I'm saying.
Right, but I'm saying, like, I thought you said if you put J. Kidd on that team.
No, listen to what I'm saying. J. Kidd has a ring during LeBron and Kobe's, like, reign, right? So, and Duncan's. He has one, bro, with the Mavs. So,
but he only got there once in his prime with the Nets and got swept. No. Then after that, he never got there again until it was really Dirk's team. Like
Nash never got there, period. That's what I'm saying. And Dirk was post-prime as well.
No, he wasn't. That was 2011, bro. Dirk was killing.
No, Dirk was prime. Dirk was prime.
Dirk was killing, bro.
I just watched that series.
So what was J. Kidd? If Dirk was prime, what was Kidd? That wasn't prime. It wasn't prime.
J. Kidd was on the back. He was on the back end. He was on the back end.
He was like 40, bro.
But listen to my point, though. My point is this: if you put Kidd on Dirk's team, young Dirk, or if you put Kidd with D'Antoni and the Suns with Amari and that squad, right? Who kept losing in the Western Conference Finals. Listen, I'm not saying they're going to win. Let me finish. I think they perform better or get to more chips. Nash has never even been to a chip.
Bro, but I mean, at the end of the day, what does performing better even do when you still got to go through Shaq and Kobe and the Spurs at that time? If you swap Nash for Kidd, that's not a big enough swap, if even a tangibly better swap to get you over the hump versus them two teams. They still losing. Like, okay, they lost 4-2.
I think it would get you over the hump. It will give you more of an opportunity.
No, there's no way you saying you put J. Kidd on that Suns team and you got them going past Kobe and Shaq, or you got them going past the Spurs.
Well, no, because there was years it wasn't Kobe and Shaq. Nash's prime years wasn't when it was Kobe and Shaq. That's when he kept beating Kobe in the first round.
Bro, and then he went to the Suns, and that was during that time. It was during that time between when Shaq left and Kobe then was kicking up, and Kobe won with Powell and them. The Suns was
in between that time. So if you put J. Kidd on that team, I think they get to a finals. That's what I'm saying.
The Spurs were still good, though. They were still playing for championships.
They didn't win those years, bro. The Pistons.
Yes, it did.
They did. Miami
2007.
No,
2007.
That's 07. Kobe won in 08. What about 05 and 06 and 04? 04, 05, 06.
06, the Mavs went and lost to the Heat. And then in 2005.
No, the Heat won.
In 06. Yeah.
Yes, and they beat the Mavs. I'm saying Phoenix would have beat the Mavs. They didn't have to worry about Duncan and them. They had to worry about the Mavs. Who won before that? The Pistons won before that.
Yeah, who the Pistons beat? The Lakers.
No, that was
the Lakers. Yeah,
I'm not talking about that. Okay, yes, the Pistons beat the Lakers that year. I'm talking about after that, bro. After Shaq and Kobe split.
Who won in 2005?
Oh, no, Miami. I'm talking about Miami was 06.
It was the Spurs.
05 was the Spurs.
And 07. That's what I'm saying, bro. The Spurs was running it up in the West at that time.
Yeah, but the Spurs only won because Shaq and Kobe was out, bro. I think if you put Kidd on, who the Spurs beat? Somebody look that up. Real talk. Who did
in 2005?
In the Western Finals. 2005 Western Conference
Finals. We're going to look it up right now. 2005 Western Conference Finals. NBA. Let me see.
They beat the Heat.
Oh, it was Spurs Suns in the 05.
All right, it was Spurs Suns.
Let's see what that. It was 4-1.
It was, yeah. It was.
I don't think it's 4-1 with J Kidd is my point. I think that goes 7 at least. I'm giving J Kidd that edge, and I don't want to get caught up on this one, but it is the 9-8 matchup.
Hold on.
No, it can't be. It can't be Spurs, son. They're both in the West.
That's what I mean. We're talking about Western Conference Finals.
Western Conference Finals.
Hold on. You saying J Kidd's performing better than Nash in that finals? Nash was 23 points, 10 assists. That whole finals. He was second leading scorer for his team. You got J Kidd performing better than that.
Absolutely.
Amari Stoudemire 37-9 for the series.
You see what I'm saying?
And they lost 4-1, yo. Ain't nothing
you give
Kidd
J Kidd that, bro? They're not losing 4-1.
Kidd, yo, I don't think Kidd offensively could get that 23 like he needed
Richard
to, bro.
Jefferson and Kenyon Martin looking. Never mind. Well, anyway, my choice. I'm going Jersey. I'm going J Kidd over Steve Nash.
We knew that.
I think the 3-point shooting.
Nash is a beast.
Nash is a beast, bro. That's a tough one. I think Jason Kidd's shooting, and then the ring, and then the championship appearance that Nash never ever had, bro. To never go to a championship is like, and J Kidd went twice, 1 for 2. I just got to give it to him. Next
and J Kidd didn't even come into the league as a shooter. That's the other problem. His jump shot was broke coming out of UCLA.
Exactly.
All-time shooter now. Come on, man.
I gotta respect that. Next one.
I'm happy Gil's not here for this next one. I'm happy that Gil is not here for this next one.
Gil, who was here on the last episode, for everyone who does not know Anthony Gill, he was here last episode. He was our other point guard in college. But this matchup we've notoriously argued about, so it's hilarious that this bracket would put them up against each other. The number 5 seed, John Stockton, versus the number 12 seed, Russell Westbrook. I think everybody in here knows who I'm choosing, but John Stockton, I want to talk about John Stockton a little bit for the kids who don't know who John Stockton was. John Stockton was the original white boy point guard.
Yeah.
Right? That played with a little flair, a little swag, knew how to get his big man the ball, really taught the world a clinic on pick and roll basketball. Man, John Stockton, bro. Like, but I'm gonna just leave it at that. Rob, who do you have in this matchup?
Man, Westbrook. You talking about somebody getting their ass kicked? Westbrook is kicking their ass, man. Like, yo, you got to do. All I'm gonna say is you got to do the average, the triple double.
3 years in a row.
3 years in a row, but that first initial triple double season was the year KD left, and I went back and looked at that roster. Yo, he had no one on that team.
He got the MVP that year. He got the MVP the second year.
That first year, I think, got it that first year he left, or it might have been the second year. But that first year he averaged that triple double, bro. Like, he did not have anybody on that team.
Right, and you look at Stockton. And you had mailman all his career.
Whole career. You walk into Karl Malone, pick and roll. They are pick and roll, right? You got a guard that not only averaged 10 assists, because Stockton had double-digit assists. He had double-digit assists, but he got 10 boards, yo. You know how much energy it takes to get 10 rebounds a game or average that? As a guard, you're normally leaking out. You're not crashing. You feel me? And then on top of that, he was the leading scorer for the team. He did everything, bro. Like, Stockton never had to do everything for his team in his career.
That's a fact.
And be successful. So I'm going Westbrook.
And I know Cam is famous for bashing the guard play back during that time. So you could argue, I ain't even going to get into it, but I was going to say you could argue, right, Stockton's competition and yada, yada. But there were some dogs in that time defensively from the point guard position. So I'm not even going to go there. But Cam, who are you picking?
I do think it's a little bit closer than you think. I am going to go with Westbrook. However, what I will say is when you look at John Stockton's stats, his career stats, and what he did to the assists defensively, what people forget, John Stockton was a dog. He was a dog. A lot of people said he was dirty. If you look at a lot of his tape and film, a lot of people would say that he's dirty, but to be a point guard and only be 6'1", you got to be dirty sometimes. So I get it. I get it while we're going with Westbrook. The one thing that I don't like about Westbrook, and I tell you this all the time, you look at his shooting, percentages, you look at his 3-point percentage, which is horrible. And at the end of the day, he just doesn't win. He's not a winner. The only time he's been a winner is when he was with KD or when he was with Harden. And even his most recent most recent time with the Rockets, they still they didn't get it done. They didn't get it done.
The season
and
is
they didn't
canceled.
get it done.
So let me say my piece, and then I'm gonna let Rob get Cam. So Pete, I'm going Russell Westbrook.
It's not the same.
I'm gonna go Russell Westbrook. So Cam, I like what you said about John Stockton's defense. I did forget about his defense. He was a dog. The reason why I'm going Westbrook is everything you guys said, but the part where I'm gonna disagree with Cam is his shooting percentages are not good, or his 3-point shooting was not good. He gets a bad rap with the KD thing. All of that. He silenced the haters with the triple-double, showing that he's willing to play hard for his teammates and that he is not the reason why OKC was unsuccessful. It is funny that all three of those players from the big three, Harden, Westbrook, and KD, are all out of OKC and thriving. So that lets, to me, that's like, all right, it wasn't Westbrook. It was none of them. It was that organization. Now, with that being said, when he's with Houston, he started the season off with his worst shooting season from the three-point area, and ended up turning his season around and being one of the most efficient people in the whole NBA and leading Houston to, what was it last, Rob, like a 7-game win streak?
Bro, they was on fire.
They was on fire, bro.
They was cooking everybody, bro.
Yep. They was going small ball, bro. They was killing everybody. And Harden was having his worst season. That's what was most impressive. Harden was shooting worse from three than Westbrook last few games, and Westbrook stepped up out the blue. And what he really did, he didn't step up. I need him to step up and hit threes so I could really, really be a fan. But where he stepped up was he stopped shooting threes. So we saw like a more responsible player that's not like, Steph shooting them, Harden shooting them, I'm good.
It took him long enough.
I guess, man. How old? Well, I guess he did turn 30. So it is, yeah. He just turned 30 years old.
He came into the league.
He's been in the league. He's been in the league for 10 years.
Yeah,
come on now.
You're right.
Like when you in any career for 10 years, after that third, fourth year, it's clicking. The game is slowed down. You know what you're doing.
Well, it clicked. They went to the chip with him as the starting PG.
The only thing I'll say is, though, no matter how long you've been at anything, when you stop getting better, you stop growing. Mm-hmm. You always can get better. So if anything, it took 10 years, but his game evolved over them 10 years.
He's still getting better.
He's getting better. Like, he's gotten better at different things his entire career.
And look how much he changed. Look how much his situation changed, Cam, throughout that 10 years. Where Stockton had a constant. There was no question.
Oh, for sure. No. I'm going with Westbrook. I just got to get my gripe off about Westbrook.
He hates Westbrook. He hates Westbrook like Rob hates Steph.
I love his mentality. I love his mentality. I love his fire. I love his passion. But bro, like sometimes self-awareness is very hard to come by. And in his case, I do think that he's not the most self-aware dude in the league. So,
all right. So let's take it back for this next matchup. I'm not even sure how much people could speak to this, but we're going to 13 seed Bob Cousy versus the 4 seed, the NBA logo, Mr. Chopper Down, Jerry West.
Man, it's the logo for me, bro. Like,
yeah.
Like,
Bob Cousy, he's the original. Mm-hmm. Now, handles. He's the head coach, bro, Hamburger.
Bob. But for me, it's just like, Bob Cousy played with Bill Russell and John Havlicek and was it Casey or Sam Jones? I think it was Sam Jones, and he had Red Auerbach, and there was only like 6 teams or 10 teams and 13 teams or something. Like, nah, man. Like for me, I respect it. It's somebody you mentioned, like he could have been an honorable mention, like, but really, I feel like that area, they really should be left off any list, just about.
Really? So when was Jerry West era, for those people listening who don't know, when was his era versus Bob Cousy's era?
Jerry West was more like mid-60s to 70s. Bob Cousy was in the 50s, bro, like 50s to 60s.
He was doing drills where, like, you throw the ball up in the air and see how many times you could clap before you catch it. Like, that was his handles drills. Man,
put it like this. They were playing against George Mikan, I'm pretty sure, and at that time, the McCain drill wasn't even around. Like, think about that. Like, that's
that
the
drill
standard.
is an easy drill. Like, you kids don't even get better off that drill now. They gel in, they spinning it off the glass now.
Yeah, he played from 1950 to 1963, bro.
And what about Jerry West?
Like, that's wild to think about. Jerry West, he was.
It's funny. It's funny you say that now.
1960, 1974. So, like I said, like West was really the 60s and 70s. He was the 50s to 60s. Like, it's just different, man.
Hey, Cam, you were saying?
But everybody from that era needs to be left off the list, huh? Not Wilt though.
Not Wilt though. Not the 7-foot black guy with a 4.
Not the 7-foot black. Right.
I didn't
playing
say
with
right.
13 teams.
You changed your whole. Come on now.
All right, I'll say this. I misspoke for being left off the list. It's just like, for me with point guard play, it's different with big men though, bro. Like it's very
worse with big men.
It's not because like at the end of the day, like you look at somebody like, do they have post moves? Are they athletic? Can they rebound? Can they finish? Like you're not looking at, how's this handle? Okay, does he have a mid range? Like every big don't. It's different evaluations. It's different evaluations.
Nah.
Like,
I think Wilt is lucky because he was born the way he was born in an era where a sport was new and some smart GM was like, hey, tall black guys, give you a shot.
Hey, at the end of the day, I look at, can they play in a different era, man? You can't put Bob Cousy in no other era and him be effective. You could put Wilt in another era and he's effective.
Now, look, I was talking about in the last episode, just to add context for your audience, Art. We were talking about in the last episode how Wilt was matched up against a plumber or an electrician or a mailman at the time, right? They had to have other jobs just because economically the league was not where it is today, right? So they had to have other jobs. Who do you think Cousy was playing against? If the big men were plumbers, the point guards, USPS, UPS, FedEx.
Yo, you so disrespectful, bro.
Come on, fam. Cousy can't even wear Jerry West gym shoes, bro. Come on now. Jerry West was a problem.
Right. So what you saying?
I Jerry West. He swept.
I picked Jerry West.
I'm just saying, just that era of the 50s, you want to include them in the top 10 list.
Yeah, the Wilt pick was shaky, bro. But especially since, forget Wilt being on the list, but then Wilt being ahead of Kobe, bro. Ahead of Russell.
There's lists where Kobe's like 7 or 10, bro, and that's by some other aficionados in the NBA space.
Yeah, but so there's other aficionados that have them at 2. Even those people that have them at
it's a type of guy that puts Kobe in their top 3, bro. I'll just say that.
This is the type of guy that puts him at 9 too. Analytics, stats people who are like, well, Wilt Chamberlain. If you look at the okay. Anyway, and y'all be just
you pardon Art.
Yeah, you feel me? You see the way you worded all that? Go ahead, though. I got you.
Hey, so next one, Oscar Robertson. I always do that. Oscar Robertson, the big O. This is a great matchup, actually. And Walt Frazier. I hate, but Oscar Robertson. But let me go back to that last bracket. I'm sorry. Finalists of that first 8 point guards, we have Magic Johnson versus Jason Kidd, which is going to be a good one. And then Russell Westbrook versus Jerry West. All right, so now we have 8 more. Let's say that's the North. We have 8 more in the South, and we're going Oscar Robertson versus Walt Frazier for the first round showdown. 3 seed versus the 14 seed. I'll go first. I haven't gone first yet. I'm going to Big O. Talk about rings. You talk about triple doubles. You talk about the records he has. If we are glorifying Russell Westbrook's play, we got to glorify Oscar Robertson. I think Walt gets the love that he gets because he dresses flashy in suits off the court now, and he played in NY. Right? He played in NY? I'm thinking about it. Yes, yeah, okay.
He won a trip there with them with Willis Reed and Earl Monroe, Earl the Pearl, and
that's the other thing too. His squad was lit.
Phil Jackson.
You're wrong. I don't want Phil Jackson as well. Yep. So all that is great. I don't like his game. I watched film and I wasn't a fan of it. I like Oscar's game now. I thought it was very modern in comparison to Walt's. relatively, you know, like looking at when he was playing, some of the stuff he was doing was like, oh wow, this dude was really like hooping, like that looks familiar. As opposed to when you watch some of these guys, it's like this was basketball. So I'm going Big O. That's my pick.
I'll step in there, man.
No, go ahead.
I was just pulling up they statistics just to take a look, thinking about games. Like Walt was a hooper, man, but Oscar's just different, bro. Like
he's the three seed, by the way, everybody. If Magic's the 1, who they have at the 2? Well,
they had Steph, who shouldn't be that at the 2.
No. Let's relax with that. Let's wait till we get there.
But Oscar, man, I mean, you just looking, bro. The only thing I'll say that Wilt has for him is he was a better two-way player. He got Walt has 7 all-defensive first-team selections in a 13-year career. You feel me? So that his prime, he was locking dudes down. He still averaged 18 a game. Got assists. He won 2 rings to Oscar's 1. You know, so that's the argument that you can have for him.
Who did Oscar play with? Oscar did play with some Hall of Famers.
He won with Kareem. Kareem's rookie year, I believe, as Lou Alcindor won him that ring in 1970 with the Bucks.
I'm saying he won him
in Milwaukee.
Ring,
yep.
Like,
hey, put it like this.
You got Oscar Robertson that was averaging 16 points that year. Come on, as a rookie, 16 and 7.
Yeah,
like you got a solid rookie.
No,
Oscar.
Lou Alcindor, Kareem was a rookie. Was Oscar
Kareem was a rookie? Nah, Kareem was a rookie.
Yeah, Oscar was in what year?
Yeah, Oscar was in his first couple of years.
Yeah, but my thing is,
because go ahead.
Kareem left, and he won how many more? Oscar ain't win again.
Who did Kareem go link up with?
Kareem had stat. Come on.
Yeah, that's
in
true.
LA.
Yeah. Hey, but you see, hey, super teams don't always win and have dynasties, yo. The Warriors got KD and only got 2 rings out of that. I mean, it happens.
Yeah,
LeBron and Wade linked up and only got 2 out of 4 years. Like,
I mean, KD only got 2. Steph went 3.
I mean,
3
but
is a dynasty.
All I'm saying is winning with teams like that and getting 3-peats is very uncommon. So
yeah, I'm saying, but Steph got a 3-peat. Bron has never 3-peat. You're right, but Steph got a 3-peat.
No, he don't.
Yes, he does. Oh, he does.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
3 in a row. You're right.
He doesn't. The only people with 3-peats are the Lakers, the
Bulls.
The Lakers with Magic, the Bulls, and the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq. That's it.
The Celtics don't have no 3-peats?
They might, but like again, it was 10 teams.
Oh wait, back when Bill.
Like,
yeah, that's when you
I
had
put an
that 2
asterisk
jobs.
by that. They had 10 teams. Like it wasn't a modern era. You feel me?
Damn.
It's a little different. But
Like,
yeah, I mean,
they were smoking cigarettes in the stadium. Like, come on, fans.
Yeah, you feel me? But to get back on topic, my fault. I'll take Oscar over Walt. I'm just saying it's a conversation to be had. Walt was a 2-way player, 7 all-defensive team selections.
All the kids listening
rings.
and watching are like, get to the next one. They looking at they see B-Rose and Chris Paul. They like, yo, Oscar who? Boo.
Yeah. He missed a triple-double before Westbrook. That's who it was.
Yeah, right. Cam, who you going with?
All right, I'm going with Oscar. One reason. So he played 14 seasons in the NBA, 4 seasons with Milwaukee, 10 seasons with Cincinnati at the time, right? Cincinnati doesn't even have a team anymore. When he was with Cincinnati, 29, 10, and 10 averages. Come on, son.
That's OD.
Come on.
Bro. 29, 10,
OD.
and 10. Nobody won him those rings, bro.
29, 10, and 8. 25, 10, and 8. He was balling. So his career average is at 25, 9, and 7, but still, he's a beast. He's a beast.
Cool. Oscar Robertson with the sweep, 3-0. Jerry West with the sweep, 3-0. Good stuff. All right, next.
This is another good one. This is another good one right here.
This one's really good because it's 2 different kinds of point guards. I feel like this matchup divides the world. Derrick Rose at the 11 seed, which that argument is like, his career, Penny Hardaway, similar. But then we got him matched up against Chris Paul.
Point guard.
Who is the point guard, the perfect point guard if you wanted one, could hit the open shot, can hit contested shots, but really gets everybody involved. I can't even say, I hate saying that CP3 is not athletic because he actually really is athletic for his size. He just got that pudgy looking body that throws me off.
He don't got no like muscle that's
dunked on
Lowry,
on Dwight Howard. Come on, man.
Yeah. So
Chris Paul got a couple NBA. He got a couple bodies in the league, bro.
He
dunked on a couple people in the league.
He's athletic. He's slept on. He's sneaky athletic, bro. I just hate his. I don't know. But Cam, I'll let you lead this one off, bro. Point guard. Who you pick?
All right. The reason I'm going with Chris Paul. Is because the only reason, there's one reason why Chris Paul doesn't have championships in this league.
They vetoed that trade.
They vetoed that trade to Los Angeles. If that team would have been Chris Paul, Kobe, and Powell, and a prime Lamar Odom, come on, man. They would have won. They would have won a chip that year.
Not the candy, man.
Man, there's a very few select people that can play with Kobe, especially at that time because of how willing he was to win, right? And his drive to win. And there was only, I would say, one other person that could have handled that, especially the point guard position, the load that handles. Actually, maybe two. I would say Derek Fisher, who had done it before, but just wasn't at the capacity to be able to do it, or the athleticism to be able to do it. Chris Paul, Steve Nash was not it at that time in his career. He had suffered too many injuries.
Kobe was begging
Jason
for
Kidd, maybe.
Yep. Those are the only two I would say.
But Chris Paul, the reason I can't go with Derrick Rose is that you've never seen a ball-dominant point guard like Derrick Rose win a championship. Now, we've seen them get there before. We've seen Allen Iverson get there. We've seen even Jason Kidd get there at the time when he was with New Jersey, right? But we never saw them win in that finals moment. So with Derrick Rose, although he's had injuries, he's explosive, he's a phenomenal player. He's just not over Chris Paul because of those reasons.
I agree, and that was actually a great breakdown. You know, CP3 don't have no rings, but like neither does D Rose, so it's a wash. CP3 doesn't have any MVPs. No, did he get one with New Orleans? No.
CP3 don't have MVP.
He has no MVPs, which is why he kind of always gets underrated and slept on, similar to like a Damian Lillard. But Derrick Rose has that MVP season, but injury and reliability and health, it is a talent. I don't care what no one says. You look at LeBron James, somebody who's been intentional about being healthy their whole career. They're in year 17 and it looks just like year 10, right? You look at even people like AI and Kobe, who sustained a lot of injury but were still able to not only play through but do the necessaries in the offseason to just always make sure that similar injuries didn't occur. Right, so I don't like giving D Rose a pass because of the injuries. Now, granted, I tore my knee myself. Cam, I know you tore your knee twice, right? 2 different knees. So, like, accidents happen. You know, I'm not blaming Derrick Rose, but I will say I'm definitely not going to punish Chris Paul for Derrick Rose's liability to get injured. So, with that being said, I'm going to go with Chris Paul. The way he plays, how long he's been good. We look at him on OKC now, right? Kind of bounced teams a little bit. He didn't have success in the Clippers with Lob City like we thought. When he was in New Orleans, which is now OKC, so he's kind of back home. We saw him with the Rockets, which have proven themselves to be a weird cutthroat kind of franchise, right? But throughout all of that, Chris Paul's numbers have been solid, always making all-star teams, always making first, second team NBA, right? Always not afraid to guard other point guards who we might look at as they're going to kill CP3 with their athleticism, but he always matches up, whether it be with Steph, whether it be with Westbrook, he's matching up. And we've even seen him try to man up and guard people who have more size than him, right? He never backs down. I love that Napoleon syndrome that he carries on the court. So I'm going with Chris Paul, CP3 all day.
You could also argue Western Conference Finals a few years back. If he didn't pull that hamstring against the Warriors, I argue the Rockets would be in that finals. In that finals, man, he was cooking Steph. he was cooking Steph that series. So, Rob, what you got?
Best player to ever wear number 3.
Nah, I'm gonna be devil's advocate. I'm gonna go with Derrick Rose. Prime D Rose was something we've never seen in the NBA before. Winning a MVP at 22, and to kind of be robbed of that because of injury. I mean, but we saw the effect he had on the league. I mean, he had LeBron questioning even going to Miami, wanted to team up with him in Chicago. You know, at that time, I mean, Derrick Rose was just an unstoppable force. So I look at that, and I look at
How long was that?
I mean, he was 22. He came to the league after his freshman year of college. So, I mean, and the fact that he even now, after all those knee injuries, is still a factor, still a starting point guard in the league, still making waves.
Just averaging 15 to 18 points a game.
15 to 18 points a game after all of that, like killing it in Detroit. You know, D Rose, man, just natural ability. He's better than Chris Paul. Chris Paul is headier, better IQ, better shooter, and Chris Paul is more of that natural, pure point. But if they go head to head with D Rose in his prime versus Chris Paul can't contain that. And I would give the edge to Derrick Rose.
I don't know if CP3 can't contain it though. Like that's even because you're forgetting. I know CP3 kind of old, bro. Like so you got to remember when he was on New Orleans and him and Deron Williams was running the league.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like that era, CP3 was wild, and he could stay in front of D Rose. Like CP3 don't get cooked like that. He looks like he should, but he doesn't, bro. Like he plays D.
He's always been one of the best defensive guards in the league. He's always been one of the best defensive guards. He's strong, though.
He's strong, yeah, and it don't even look like it.
Though.
All right, so, Kate, we got Chris Paul
just little
winning that bracket 2-1, Rob being devil's advocate. Yeah. So, we got Oscar Robertson playing against Chris Paul next round. Let's kind of pick up the pace here. This next one, 2 players that are very similar, and they're ranked very close at the 6 and 7 seed. No, I'm sorry. I misread. That's Chris Paul. The 7 and 10 seed at 7, Allen Iverson, going against the 10 seed, Isaiah Thomas, which, if based on yesterday's podcast, and I'm prefacing with this because I don't want to see nobody backsliding on their comments yesterday. People were trying to squeeze Isaiah Thomas in the top 10, which is great. But now here he is facing against Allen Iverson, and he's ranked lower. And we just put a D Rose who had 2 solid careers over Chris Paul. So let's keep consistent energy here. Rob, I'll let you go first because I'm kind of targeting you with all that, right? Who you got winning, Allen Iverson or Isaiah Thomas?
Man, when you compare both of them guys, and you compare careers, you compare impact. Not impact, I'll say impact on the game. You compare legacy, you compare longevity. I'm going Isaiah, bro.
You guys convinced me Isaiah yesterday. I might go Isaiah too, but I think AI is busting him bad.
I mean, it depends. If you're talking about 1 versus 1, it's just them 2 on the court by themselves. They got to stick each other. I mean, AI is AI, right? But if we're looking at overall in terms of everything in their career, you talk about leading a team. To be honest, AI shouldn't even be on this list because he's not even a point guard. He's not really a point guard.
He's there. So what's up?
He's a 2. But since he's there, we'll argue. I'm going with Isaiah Thomas.
I look at Penny more like a 2 as well. I don't look at Penny as a point.
No, Penny ran the 1 for the Magic, bro, because Nick Anderson and Brian Shaw were the 2 and 3. AI, Eric Snow was a point guard on AI's team.
Yeah, when Eric Snow was playing, that was a short period of time. When he was on Denver, AI was the 1.
And you see how
Eric Snow, he was the point guard when they went to the finals.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying he's not a
Eric Snow.
I mean, for me, Isaiah, you got a 2-time NBA champion. He has 1 Finals MVP. Allen got 1 seasonal MVP. Obviously Allen's a better scorer.
I just think Allen's a better version, but I'm going to say this. Allen's only a better version because he came after and he played in like maybe a tougher era for guards. Like similar to when I argue the Kobe and Jordan thing. So if we're taking that away and we're not going by like that Isaiah 100% had the better career, more impact. Like, I think AI's braids, like, really was his superpower. It really impacted, like, youth and kids, kind of how kids are fascinated with Steph Curry now.
Yeah.
So I think that part of AI, especially when, like, rap culture and even you could say black culture was, like, the most prominent probably it's ever been in the early 2000s. AI embodying all of that, I think played into how much we hype him. I'm taking him over Isaiah all day, every day, but I think in this particular matchup and for the purpose of the podcast and what the bracket's about, I'm going Isaiah as well, bro.
Exactly.
Sweet. Isaiah.
Oh, Philly Cam going Isaiah.
Wow.
Yo, Cam's straight and narrow, bro. He don't like wild cards like AI.
It depends on the topic. The topic is all time. So I'm thinking all around, career, impact, everything. Game. AI wasn't, he didn't get it done when it came to time for it. Now, again, he did run into Kobe and Shaq. But to only get there once and lose 4-1, right? 4-1. I don't know. Yeah, Isaiah's been there, man. He was proven.
Not only that, look who Isaiah beat to get there. He beat Jordan twice in the playoffs before getting to the conference finals. He beat Bird, and then he had to beat Magic.
Yep.
Yo,
that's crazy.
Fact.
Yeah, no, you're
That's
absolutely
not easy.
right. So, last matchup.
I would argue that Isaiah, sorry, before we move on to the next topic, Isaiah may have had one of the hardest roads of all time to the finals and to win. When you got to go through the Celtics, you got to go through Jordan, a young Jordan that was averaging, 35 a game?
He didn't have
Pippen. His first couple
seasons. He didn't have Pippen yet, though.
It don't matter. Then you got to go through the Celtics. Then you got to go through Larry.
Isaiah had Rodman and Dumars. Like, Isaiah had
Rodman, yeah.
Was not the same Rodman that he was.
I'm not saying he was the same, but he had him. I'm saying Jordan didn't have him, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying he got Isaiah the ring. I'm saying Jordan didn't have Rodman.
To be honest, Jordan's teams honestly was never really like that. It was really him and
Pippen was like that, bro.
No, I'm saying.
Pippen was like that.
No, I'm not saying Pippen wasn't. I'm saying outside of them two, like, you really could have interchanged a lot of them pieces.
Ron Harper, 20.
No,
like, they had the pieces, bro. You'll see on the 19th.
They had the perfect role. The role players. The perfect role players.
Right, but I'm saying if you compare them teams to other teams in the list of rosters, bro, their team is not like that. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying Isaiah's versus Jordan wasn't impressive. That wasn't.
When he gets to Boston, though, that's where it's impressive. That when he gets to the Lakers in the finals, that's where it's impressive.
I mean, even at that time, Jordan was still the best player in basketball, for real. Like, that was him taking the mantle from Magic and Bird. He just didn't have the cast around him, but he was still like, yo, Jordan's that guy. Jordan wasn't like Jordan was weak.
No, I'm not saying he was still one man when Isaiah had a squad, is what I'm saying. Like, Isaiah had a squad.
I still think it was impressive for Isaiah to beat him because you see what happened when he didn't. Jordan would have won 2 3-peats.
Do you think it's impressive for Tim Duncan and the Spurs to beat LeBron in 07? No, you wouldn't say
no.
Don't try to dance because you see my point. You wouldn't call that impressive. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to remember Jordan in 87, or when did he win? 89?
89, yeah.
Jordan in 89, right, was 4 years in the league. He was still like young gun, like young Westbrook, young Kobe Jordan. It wasn't like he's going to will his way to a win. He still was just like, we know Jordan's going to be amazing, but he's about to catch his L to the Pistons. The Bulls were not the favorite in that. So we don't want to look back and say because it was Jordan, like it was an upset. Nah, the Pistons were supposed to beat Jordan.
Yeah, they were.
So next round, but we all picked Isaiah, though. We all agreed?
Yeah.
All right, sorry, AI. Mm-hmm. Now, this round's going to get interesting because I think that this will be a 3-0 decision, and Rob already made his choice, so if he switches up, I'm calling him out. I don't care. But we got Gary Payton at the 15 seed, Steph Curry at the 2 seed for the final matchup of round 1. I'm going Steph Curry all day. I think Gary Payton's defense and all that was great. I think the era that he played in, right behind Isaiah, kind of Jordan era, I think he really made a name for himself as being a dog defensively. All that is great. But just like we had to go off of Derrick Rose's prime, Steph's prime was I won't even say the greatest. I don't feel like arguing. I don't have the energy. But it was top 3 greatest primes of all time of any player in any sport ever.
Wild wrong. Like
Curry's. I don't agree with that.
Curry's
wild
prime,
wrong. Bro, any sport, like any sport. So
any sport.
79 unanimous MVP, every shooting record.
Bro, any sport.
Yo,
first of all,
do you remember Deion Sanders' prime?
Yo,
okay, he's
not even
the
that.
one I
not
was
even
thinking
that.
of.
First of all, Jordan's prime in basketball is better than Steph's. He had two three-peats, okay, just alone. That's better. And there's more than just him. You bring in football, I mean, look at...
No, listen, I'm talking about singular season. That's the kind of point I was making. So my bad if I confuse you. I'm talking singular
season prime. He still doesn't have the top 3 best singular season primes.
I mean, that was my opinion. I don't know. What do you want me to do?
I feel you.
I was thinking of Deion. I was thinking of Jordan. And then I was thinking of Steph. Can you guys give me?
I think Kobe's got a better prime season.
That 81 prime was crazy, but Kobe didn't like that 73-9, and then get to the finals. Yeah, he lost, but it was crazy. Unanimous MVP when Kobe had
but the reason
MVP.
But come on now, we can all go back and look. Steve Nash should not have gotten that MVP.
No, but he got it.
Come on.
I wish we could argue like that. I wish, because then
but you got reporters that are get votes for the MVP. So
yeah, hold on. That's not really.
You know what I mean? Like
how I'm sorry. Steph's unanimous, bro. Number one, it should not have been unanimous, and number two, Jordan never got a unanimous because you had reporters in Boston and Detroit automatically saying no because they hated him. LeBron was 1 vote from getting unanimous, one of his MVPs, and a reporter in Boston said no, so he didn't get unanimous. Just because he beat them. Like, when you get Steph, it was more about him. It was more about the look.
Him being an underdog, yeah. I agree
and all that other BS that played into it.
That season was still crazy.
It was a great season.
It was a great
incredible.
Season. It was
incredible. But people need to stop throwing that unanimous out there. Like, he got it because he got voted for.
Take
but
away
we
the
all
unanimous.
know.
Gary don't have no MVPs.
Yo, it ain't even.
No, it's not about Gary. It's not about Gary.
This don't got nothing to do with Gary, bro.
Oh,
we all know Steph is advancing. We just talking about
Steph is advancing.
The inaccuracies of Steph's legacy as people perceive it. That's what we talking about right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm one of the people where when ESPN was going crazy over Steph and saying he was better than everybody on this list. You guys remember they had him at number 1 or number 2 or something crazy, and it was a big deal on ESPN. I was one of the people arguing against it. But then when he went on and continued to play that way for 2 more years, because you guys got to remember, I coach kids. So I hated everything about Steph Curry. I hated that all the kids wanted to wear like corny number 30. I just think it's a terrible number. I hated that all the kids just wanted to shoot and not do nothing else. I hated that all the kids wanted to shimmy or do something after their shot. Like I still do, but it's kind of more normal now. But I'm saying all that to say I was totally against it. But as it continued for 2-3 seasons, right? Arguably 4, because I remember when KD came and he wasn't kicking up, and I was one of the people like, see, I told you so. He ain't really like that. And then every time KD got hurt or didn't play, the dude would have 40-something points. So I don't know what Steph's issue is and why he doesn't perform in the playoffs and why he doesn't like always kick up. What I do know is that when he kicks up like I've never seen people kick up before. Like I've never seen nothing like that, bro. It's like I'd be so frustrated.
He did come back. He did come back this year and have 30 in his first game back after not. Yeah, that was crazy.
Basket,
or 20,
bro,
whatever he had.
Man, listen, I've seen a point guard kick up, and I've seen a point guard kick up that kicked up on him, Kyrie, in that series where they came back down 3-1.
Well, he's not on this list.
But I'm saying I ain't seen nothing like that if you talk about kicking up,
But you're talking about a game. I agree with you, but you're talking about one game. I'm talking about Steph doing this for 3 years.
Season, multiple seasons.
Three,
I
bro.
mean, I mean, you got the luxury of playing with Klay Thompson, dog. I mean,
man, I'm sick of Klay and Draymond being overhyped as well, bro. Like,
hold on, Klay don't get enough recognition.
Klay is amazing. Klay doesn't get enough.
Yo, Klay, you got Steph. Klay shoots just as good, if not better than Steph.
Yeah, but listen to what I'm saying.
And takes way less shots.
Let me ask you
way
a question.
less shots, and he guards the team's best defender. Steph
Let me ask you a
defense.
question. Let me ask you a couple questions, both of you guys. I like this. Is Klay Thompson better than Shaquille O'Neal?
No.
I'm not
Okay,
getting
just
this.
answer. Hey,
Where are you
just
going?
answer.
Come on,
But
bro.
that's
I don't
not.
need to tell you where I'm going. Just answer. You're gonna see, right?
No, he's not better
No.
than Shaq.
Is he better than Scottie Pippen?
There's an argument there.
Just answer whatever it is. Yes or no?
I really don't know. I can't. I don't know. If you're talking about right now, no, because he's not retired.
Prime
But if Klay
Scotty and
retired,
prime Klay.
This is Klay's
All right,
prime
we'll
right
come
now,
back to that.
bro.
We'll come back to that. Is he better than Dwayne Wade? I'm just going off second options. Of
Oh
Chicago.
no.
Is he? He's not better than Dwayne Wade. And I'll give you Pippen. Let's say he's better than Pippen, okay? Because Pippen played with Jordan. Jordan's the best of all time, so I'll give you that. Is he better than who is Bron's other number two? Kyrie Irving.
He might be.
Come on.
I would argue that he is. I would argue he's just as good.
Yeah, like he's just as valuable. Yeah, bro. Like you can
Just as
interchange.
valuable as a Kyrie.
Klay Thompson better than Kyrie Irving, you're saying?
They're just as
He's
valuable.
just as valuable.
Meaning you can interchange
Just
them
as
and get the
valuable.
same result.
All right. Is he better than Dirk Nowitzki?
When was Dirk the
No.
number two? But when was Dirk the number two?
I'm sorry, not Dirk Nowitzki. No, when they won the chip, Dirk won
was
in
the
11.
man.
Who's Dirk's number two?
Dirk was their one.
Yeah, who's his number two? I'm sorry.
They had a
He
cast of
didn't have a
guys.
solid number two.
It wasn't
they
like
had, they had Jason Terry, Jason Kidd. They had
Sean
Sean
Marion.
Marion.
Really? Okay.
Tyson Chandler. Like
It was who am I thinking of? Then you had D Wade and Shaq.
Clyde Drexler with no, he wasn't on that Houston team when the Rockets won.
Think more recent though. Who we missing? We missing somebody who won a chip recently.
Pascal Siakam with Kawhi Leonard or
Kyle Lowry.
Kawhi Leonard. Like, no, he's not better than them.
That's a good argument that you could.
Clay is better than Pascal and Kyle Lowry. I'm sorry.
I don't think he's better than Kyle Lowry, but
Yo,
he's
what?
for sure better than Kyle Lowry.
Klay Thompson's not better than Kyle Lowry?
Klay?
Yo, you
Kyle
know,
Lowry?
yo, guys, it's arguable. I know you don't like Kyle. Like he's a very underrated player, bro.
you said Kyle's underrated, but Klay is overrated.
That's not what I didn't say. Klay was
You
overrated.
need to flip
Never
that.
said
You
Klay was
overrated. You did. You said I'm sick of
No.
Draymond and Klay getting overrated with them.
No, I
being
didn't
like,
say
Steph.
overrated. I did not use that word specifically. That's how I know I didn't use it. I said I don't like how much people like. All right, so basically, whenever somebody wants to diminish Steph's legacy, they bring up Klay and Draymond, and I think that's unfair. I don't, because you don't do that to Klay when we're talking about Klay, right? So we're not talking about how Klay don't have to handle the ball because of Steph. We're about how Klay don't have the weight because of Steph and KD. Like we never do that to the second and third option. They have that luxury.
But because he's number two, yeah.
That luxury.
Right,
Bro,
you're number two.
But my thing is, Klay is so good that if
You don't really know.
because bro, he's like Harden, bro. Like everybody was like, "Oh, Harden's a third option, he's not a true one." Until he got his own team, and now you like, yo,
I get it, but
MVP,
Harden got his own team and proved it. Klay got to prove it. Kobe got his own team and proved it. Right?
Klay is a problem, bro. Like
I'm not saying he's not a problem, but keep that energy yesterday.
Saying we haven't proved it. We haven't
proved it. And yesterday
all right,
we
I
had
get
somebody who
that.
did prove it, and you said out of your
Man.
mouth that Shaq got Kobe those rings. You said out of your mouth that Kareem got Big O that ring. You said that.
Man, all I know is they got a thing called Game 6 Klay for playoff Klay. What they got for playoff Curry? Nothing.
No,
Because
you know what I
Klay-
just said?
because
That
Klay
was a
goes
big
off-
defer that you just did.
Klay goes off in
I-
the biggest
Hold on,
moments.
you just
them boys
deferred
there,
wild.
bro.
Forget Steph. Forget Steph. Out of your mouth, you said that Shaq got Kobe those rings, even though Kobe proved himself. You said out of your mouth that KD got Curry those last 2 rings, even though Curry has one without KD. You said out of your mouth that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, a.k.a. Lou Alcindor, got Big O that ring, even though that Lou Alcindor was a rookie, and we know that Big O averaged crazy numbers his whole career. So what I'm saying to you is that why is your energy different when we're talking about Clay? Why can't we say Steph got Clay that ring?
I mean, you can, but really, I mean, the first year they won the chip, Steph didn't even get the Finals MVP. So really, Iguodala
Clay didn't get it either.
Guys.
Clay didn't get it either.
Iguodala got them guys that ring, and we all know.
You can't say Iguodala got them that ring though.
Why can't?
I can tell you why. Because if we played the game right now, we know that Clay and Steph outplayed Iguodala. Iguodala played great in the finals, but he's not why they were there. He's not why they were 73-9.
He's why they got the ring. If you don't have Iguodala,
that's a
on that
crazy
team,
thing to say.
They don't get the ring.
Crazy?
No, because
we don't know that. We don't know that.
Finals MVP.
Iguodala got them a ring.
He got
because he got an MVP.
What I'm saying is,
did Kawhi Leonard get Tim Duncan a ring?
Come on, man.
No, just
yes. Kawhi got them that ring.
Just because he got MVP.
No, because if you watch the Spurs team at that time, nothing was running through Tim Duncan. They were running through Kawhi. Tim Duncan was a secondary option.
Okay, so good. Now, did Golden State run everything through Andre Iguodala?
It was the defense part.
Okay, so he didn't get him a ring. He just played really good defense.
No, he did, because if you don't have him to guard LeBron,
I don't know about
still
that.
went off.
That is a reach. You said out your mouth that LeBron still had one of his best finals ever.
He did, but Iguodala slowed him down in spots, bro. You got to look at in the spots and when Iguodala slowed him down, when he was guarding and when he got stops. That's not inconsistent, bro. Like, at the end of the day, through the entire game, yeah, LeBron had great numbers, but in certain spots, he went quiet. In critical spots, he could have went quiet.
Steph is that great, but 2 people have gotten – I mean, Clay is that great, but 2 people besides Steph have gotten a Finals MVP, and neither one of them is Klay Thompson. Out of 3 rings. Clay has 3 rings.
Okay, and Clay is the sidekick. Steph's the alpha and don't got none of that. Like, he got the same amount of rings as Clay.
You said he's not the alpha.
I never said he wasn't the alpha. When Durant's there, hold on. When Durant is there, he's not. But without Durant, he is supposed to be. And
so
he doesn't
Clay's
have a Finals
He's
MVP.
option 3?
With Durant and Curry, I mean, Curry and Clay is like 2A and 2B for real, bro. It depends on the game, honestly.
Okay, so there's 3 rings. KD got 1 MVP.
2.
2 MVPs, and Iguodala got 1.
Yes.
So you're saying that Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are both invalid because they did not get MVPs. You're saying that KD...
I never said they're invalid. I'm saying their value, like, they're tied to each other, bro.
But that's my whole original point, is that how can you diminish Steph because of Clay, but you don't do that to Clay with Steph? So when it's time to talk about Clay, we worship him and we don't say Steph is why Clay is Clay. But when we talk about Steph, we say that Clay is why Steph is Steph.
It's more so like
hate.
No. It's more so like Clay. When you look at it, Clay be down here, Steph be up here. It's a big gap. It needs to be like Steph needs to be a little lower, Clay needs to be a little higher, even it out. That's what it's like. That's why it's not. Oh, Steph
but Clay didn't get a unanimous MVP. Clay didn't break all the shooting records. It's not like they didn't get the same touches. Like Clay's not handling the ball.
I mean, he's right behind him.
Clay don't get the same. Clay's
not right behind him in MVP votes.
Bro, Clay does not
MVP
the same Clay don't get the same touches, bro. Clay don't get the same touches because
he doesn't
Curry's
want
more
the same
ball.
touches. He's not that kind of play.
He doesn't.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
He doesn't
Actually,
need.
I do, but
he doesn't need
you
the
don't
same
know
touches.
that.
He doesn't need the same touches. I agree, because he's a spot-up shooter. Would you say that? He can do more. I'm not saying he can't, but he's a shooter. He's a spot-up shooter.
I mean, if that's what you want to call him right now, yes.
You're saying that
I do think that we will get Clay on his own team eventually. We will see that.
if he makes an MVP run, I'll eat my words. I'll eat my words. But if he don't make an MVP run or he's a role player for somebody else, then I'm coming for you.
That's a pretty damn good role player if you want to call him that.
He's a role player.
All right, let's bring it back. Where are we at?
All right, listen, let's get on to the next round. I don't even know what time we're at. Round 2, Magic Johnson versus Jason Kidd. Russell Westbrook versus Jerry West. Excuse me. Big O, Oscar Robertson versus Chris Paul, and then Isaiah Thomas versus Steph Curry, which is actually yesterday's combo. So let's start from the bottom and work our way up. We'll start with that matchup, Isaiah Thomas versus Steph Curry. I'm not going to give an explanation. I'm going Steph personally. I know you guys are probably going to choose Isaiah. based on yesterday's argument. If you guys
I'm going Steph.
You're going Steph.
I'm going
Steph.
Isaiah. I'm going Isaiah.
Wow, Cam, why are you going Steph? I thought you were Isaiah yesterday.
No, I had Steph in my top 10. Yeah, I had Steph in my top 10. He was 10B. And the reason I'm going Steph, the unanimous MVP, although that's still a little janky to me, the fact that they got reporters voting on that, I don't really think that should count the way it does. But saying less, he got the unanimous MVP. He's broken all shooting records for any position, point guard, shooting guard, and he's a three-time champion. I can't say less about Steph.
3-time champion, every shooting record, unanimous MVP. That's my biggest thing is like, because Steph is so recent, I think it rubs people wrong. And I think like in yesterday's argument, because he's so recent and still playing, it's like, I know that hatred of like when someone's still playing. Like LeBron even still gets it a little bit, right? So, but my thing is if this was Wilt or somebody who we did not see, right? And we just looking at accolades. We can't say, oh, well, he had Steph, because nobody's worried about who, besides Big O, nobody's worried about who Kareem's second. Like when they're making lists, they're not worried about who he played with and all of that. So with that being said, when I try to put my blinders on to current basketball and I just look at, 3 rings, unanimous MVP, number 1 in all shooting categories, whether you look at totals, percentages, records per game, he has every single one. That's a top 10 player right there. If you're just looking at on paper and film, if you just look at on paper, on film, and accolades, and you're not like, I think he's beating out a lot of people. I think he's going to go down as top 5 of all time if the Warriors do something for him to make them compete again. They're one trade away, bro. They're one trade or one draft away from the Warriors being back in the finals, because they still have the great Klay Thompson. He didn't go anywhere. So you have Steph and Klay still there. Klay, who's supposedly better than Scottie Pippen. Don't forget that, because they all been injured for 2 years straight now, right? Since last finals. For seasons.
But you got to remember too, with the season getting canceled, that's just more time for them to get healthy.
To recover.
It's more time for them to decide on who they're picking up. They are one trade or one draft
They were just
and
in
they're
the
going to have a high pick. Yep, they're going to have a high pick, and we all know how when Steph and Klay are healthy and back playing at 100%, how much that elevates Draymond. So they're going to be right back. They're going to be right back where they were next year.
You see how for him, you naming all these different people, all these different things got to go the right way. All these guys got to be healthy for him. Like Isaiah was the guy, like on that Pistons team. Isaiah, like I said, beat Jordan twice, beat Bird, beat Magic.
Steph beat LeBron, man.
Did he beat LeBron, or his team beat LeBron? Or his team beat LeBron.
But that's what I just said.
You could say the same thing. You could say the same exact thing about Isaiah.
Isaiah has a Finals MVP. Steph don't.
Oh, all right.
That matters, bro.
But
Isaiah don't have no regular season MVP.
Exactly. If Joe Dumars gets hurt, who says they beat Jordan? Who says that they beat the Celtics?
Hey, man, all I know is Steph don't have great playoffs in his bag of accolades right now. He doesn't. All these other players do. He doesn't. On the biggest stage,
he doesn't have great playoffs or great finals.
I would say both, bro.
No.
When do you have?
No, he's got phenomenal playoffs.
When do you have them? When do you have any like? Oh, this run by Steph has been one of the best. Like I don't see that.
It's
Maybe
not all
missed
about that, man. Like
down 3-1.
He's a common denominator of a team that had 3 rings, came back down from 3-1. Yeah, like I know he blew up OKC. I know he ate up KD and Westbrook.
All I know is, man, them rings after KD came, bro. Like if he gets back and dominates and gets to another finals now without KD, then I'll start incorporating him into these conversations. But the fact that he went and begged KD to come play with him. No, the fact that he went to go beg KD to come play with him after you went 73-9, and you've been to 2 straight finals. You really didn't need
KD to do anything.
You didn't need. He went to go talk to him. He was on that. He was at.
No, but Bron has done that, bro.
Bron don't beg. Guys want to come to him.
You don't know that Steph begged, bro.
That.
Come on, Bron.
I know Draymond called KD in the parking lot. He called him in the parking lot.
That's a rumor, but okay.
All right, bro.
You know it's a rumor, bro. Like, how will we know if
Man.
Draymond called him in the parking lot, bro?
Man, what I'm getting at is, for me to put Steph in all these categories, I need to see him get back to that
That's an
pinnacle.
emotional factor.
No, it's not, bro. It's fair. I saw you do it pre this person. You really didn't need this person. You then go and add him, and then since then you've been injured. Like, I want to see you get back to that without that person.
Yeah, bro, but like when Kobe and Shaq won, the Lakers got better every year after that because they were winning. Same thing with Miami. After they won the first one, players wanted to come play with them. You can't blame that player, bro. Like, he's a good player, man. All emotion aside, all hate aside, like I said,
Bro,
if you were looking at paper, he's a great player, bro.
He is. I'm just saying, I want to see him get back to that point, bro.
I know, I do too. I do too, but I'm not going to punish him now. You're punishing him.
No, I'm just saying, these other guys that are on this list, bro, they dominated and did that for more than 3 seasons. 4 seasons. Like, it's really 3 to 4 seasons for Steph. Like, I want to see that a decade-long dominance. I can ask for that. These other guys did it.
I don't see anybody on here that really did it for that long, but
Oscar, Jerry, Magic.
He has more rings than everyone you mentioned except Magic.
Man, all I know is Steve Nash dominated from day one until retirement. Kidd dominated.
No rings for Steve Nash. No shooting records.
Put Steve Nash on the Warriors teams. I bet they get a ring. Same with Kidd. You could put them on them teams. They get a ring, bro. Especially if you got Clay and KD.
Not against LeBron James.
Especially with
I
Clay
agree
and
with
KD
you. Not against LeBron James and that Cleveland team. Nah, I actually disagree. I agree with you normally, but not against LeBron. Against other teams, for sure. Tim Duncan, yeah. Not against LeBron James, Kevin Love, and Kyrie Irving. Nah.
Bro, you give Jason Kidd, Kevin Durant, and Klay Thompson.
Oh, I mean that team. I'm talking about prior to KD.
I'm talking about 7, 3, and 9, like them 2 seasons. I'm talking about Steph. I'm not talking about. I agree with you that Steph took a backseat to KD, but like, I mean,
you could put a lot of people on that team with KD, and they're winning the championship. Come on now, KD is KD.
I mean, I wouldn't put AI on that team and give them no championship. I wouldn't. Not enough basketball to go around.
Oscar Robertson, I cannot say his name. Oscar Robertson and Chris Paul. This is actually a good one. Slept on matchup. Oscar, that ring, triple double.
I'm going with Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar.
Yeah,
ring,
I'm going with
triple
Oscar.
double. Unanimous. Oscar Robertson, Kate. Okay, so in the Southern Finals, Oscar Robertson versus Steph Curry. Let's go up north. Russell Westbrook versus Jerry West. I am going to go with. I'm actually going to go with Russell Westbrook, only because of.
I don't even know why.
You said what?
I don't even need to know why. Russell.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jerry West ain't
his career ain't hit.
Yeah.
For reason. The logo is all he got going for him. I know he could shoot in NBA Live back in the day when I used to play NBA Live like 2000. You can get the old guys, and Jerry West didn't miss. But you know, like
how you the logo and you're not even getting paid to be the logo? Now I'm seeing that's what I'm talking about right there. You can't capitalize on that. Come on, fam. Come on.
Jerry West like 1 and 8 in the finals. They should have changed
Kobe to the logo.
That would have been dope, actually. Seriously.
You talk about
there's no NBA players
records.
that good and young dead. Like, change the logo, bro. Magic and Jason Kidd. This is actually a really, really, really good one. I think Magic sweeps that. You said what?
This is a good one, but I do think Magic sweeps.
Magic 5 rings, bro, in that short pan that he played.
Yeah, Magic taking Kidd, bro.
How many MVPs does Magic have? Anybody know?
Probably 3. I'm gonna look it up.
While you look it up, I want you guys to start thinking. So we got Northern Finals, Magic Johnson versus Russell Westbrook. I'm proud of Russ for making it to the Final Four with no rings. among people. Everybody else has rings. Russ's bracket was weak though. He had all the white boys, man. No offense. He had all the slow white point guards, man. No one-on-one.
Magic got 3 MVPs.
3, wow. Yeah, he's the 1 seed, and that's why, man. Magic is very slept on.
No, he's not, bro. Like what? Everybody.
Bro, you just put no. He has 5 rings and 3 MVPs, and last night you put him behind Kareem, Jordan, and Bron, and Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
So he is slept on.
He's top. That's top 5, ain't it?
Will we put him at 5?
That's
top 5, bro. But that's still slept 5, 3 MVPs and 5 rings, bro.
I still got him behind Bron, Jordan, and Kareem. So he gonna be at the best 4, but he's in the top 5. So like it ain't slept on.
Magic calls Kobe the best Laker of all time, and so does every other Laker, which would put Kobe over. That's why I put Kobe over Magic, personally.
I mean, what is Magic supposed to say? He only played 12
what
seasons for the
Jordan
Lakers.
say, bro?
Kobe. He only played 12 seasons for the Lakers. Kobe played 20, bro. Just that alone. One team for 20 years, that's unheard of, bro.
Yeah, but
and then that's not even
else
the
he did. Don't downplay like his 5 rings because he was there long.
No, I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying that alone can make someone the greatest Laker over someone else. Then you add in the accolades on top of it.
Kareem was a Laker.
I can. He's not a lifetime Laker, bro.
Yeah, I'm saying, but Kareem was a Laker. So for Magic to say that, he's thinking himself, he's thinking Kareem, he's thinking Shaq, and he's saying that. That's why.
I'm telling you why he's saying that. The only 2 all-time Lakers you can put out of them 4 guys.
Rob, how you gonna tell me why Magic said something?
Because I'm telling you. Because it's only 2 guys he's going to be putting that conversation between those that 4. It's still going to be Magic or Kobe as all-time Lakers because both of them played their entire career there. And then Magic only played half the time of what Kobe did as a Laker. So yeah, of course Magic gonna say
he played
Kobe's
12.
the best Laker.
Kobe played.
And Kobe played 20.
12 for 20 is the same as 6 for 10. It's more than half. But I agree with some of what you're saying.
Yo,
but I think
out of here.
I agree with like what you're saying about
stuff like that.
the longevity. But so let's Steph Curry or Oscar, man. Steph or the Big O.
Oscar.
Let's go back to that one because that's more difficult. Are we putting Magic over Russell Westbrook? I am.
I mean,
Magic.
With Magic resume, yeah, but like, if we talking like if they played 1-on-1,
no, that's not what we're talking. Stay consistent the whole bracket, bro.
I'm just saying, you talking 1-on-1 with nobody else on that court? You know where I'm going with it, but I'm going Magic.
I hate that Magic couldn't shoot, man. I hate it. I'm going Steph over Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar averaged a triple-double as a point guard, bro.
For a couple seasons.
Steph never did that. Steph don't do anything but score.
Is Steph better than Westbrook?
Come on,
no, hold
man.
on, man.
Come on.
Bob, is Steph or Westbrook?
The triple-double thing.
What you mean average a triple-double thing? It's not easy to average a triple-double, bro.
Bob, Steph or Westbrook?
That's tough. It's preference. For me,
how is it tough? You just said that Oscar averaged a triple-double, so does Russell Westbrook. So that
I just said preference for me would be Westbrook.
We're not talking preference,
and
bro.
then the preference for you would be losing.
Y'all act like because Russell didn't win a ring, he doesn't win, bro. He's always in the playoffs.
No, I'm a Russell Westbrook fan. What I'm saying is that now that as we get later in the bracket, and you just want to be devil's advocate, I feel like you are adding words like preference. You're adding, you know what I mean? Like you're twisting. Yo, Steph or Oscar?
You're softening your position, Rob.
Yes.
Oscar Robertson is my pick.
And why is that?
I'm saying.
I'm asking why.
Bro, it's the Big O, bro. First of its kind, average.
No, see, that's intangible.
Dominated entire career is Oscar Robertson, man. Like,
I think Steph is so far ahead of Oscar Robertson, it's almost not funny.
Not even close.
All right. Magic.
And I'm just going off of, like, I'm telling you, bro, Steph's still playing, so it sucks. I hate it too. But, yo, in 10 years from now, we're looking on paper. Like, you know how Kobe passed, and now we're seeing these highlights, and we're seeing the rings and the accolades. And
Bro, y'all trying to tell me Steph the best point guard of all time? Because that's what we getting at right here, and I don't believe it.
Yo, it's arguable.
Steph or Magic, yo. Like,
Magic.
Yeah, Steph and Magic. That's two of the top. Like, who else would you put in the top point guards of all time besides those two?
Magic is here. Steph is here, bro. That's not even a conversation.
Only,
It's not.
Like Steph, like yo, this is my thing. Steph is great, bro. But like yo, like
No, wait, Rob. Really, I want your opinion on this. We got Magic and Steph top two. In my opinion, in real life, they are like top 2 point guards of all time. Who else would you put up on their level? Point guards.
Oscar and Isaiah.
Oscar and Isaiah. So Steph is top 4 point guards of all time.
Some people would throw Stockton in there. I know some that will throw
I'm
Stockton
asking
in there.
you.
Now
not
you talking about
people.
some people. We're talking about
Bro,
you.
Bro, I'm saying when I look at this list, you like
Why can't you
outside
answer
of
a question, son?
yo,
Is
let me
Steph's top
explain. Let me
4?
explain. Outside of this one-on-one, if you just naming top point guards, bro, Isaiah, Oscar, Magic, Stockton, like those are all guys.
So Stockton's better than Steph.
Bro, yes. If you looking at if you right now, I'm putting them 4 ahead of Steph.
So Steph's top 5.
I mean, that's an argument because
No,
you got the point
Rob,
guard.
answer.
No, hold on. Then you got the point guard, Chris Paul, Jason Kidd. Like, yo, them
You're
dudes
putting them
right now
over Steph
are
Curry?
They're ahead
You
of
think
Steph
Chris
Curry.
Paul's a better point guard than Steph Curry?
I like his career a little bit better, even without the rings, bro.
what?
The
We're not
longevity,
doing it.
The
Stick with the bracket. Stick with
the
the bracket.
longevity of the dominance, bro. You got to look at it all.
You're
The
drunk.
longevity,
You're
the
drunk.
longevity by itself. You got to look at that, man.
Look what Gil
can't
sent
knock
me
that.
earlier. Can everyone see this, or is it backwards?
What's it say?
Gil
Who's
sent
that,
me a
Jason?
highlight of Jason Kidd and said, Curry better than Kidd? I said, LOL, yes. Like, Curry and J.
No.
Kidd?
No, he think J Kidd better than Curry.
I know.
All right, so what you say? What you bringing that up for?
I'm saying you guys are out of your mind. Why are you downplaying Steph Curry?
Your mind.
It's not downplaying Steph.
Mind.
It's not downplaying Steph.
He's
Steph,
top 3.
I'm not disrespecting these guys, bro.
He's top
These
3 and
dudes-
he's not 3. He's
These dudes are legends, bro.
when
shows
so
the
Steph's not a
respect.
legend.
I mean, he cool.
Steph is more of a legend than Isaiah,
Now
despite what
he's
Isaiah
cool.
did.
He is not more of a legend than Isaiah. Steph is not more of a legend than Isaiah Thomas, bro.
When Steph is done playing, you're gonna eat these words, bro.
Yo, y'all make it seem like I don't like Steph when I'm saying he's not good, bro.
You
Steph
make
is-
it seem like you don't like Steph.
Not at all. Steph is great, bro, but I'm not putting him ahead of them guys. I'm just not right now.
All right, look. Are we unanimous? Are we unanimous? Magic Johnson,
Is the best point guard of all time.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
It looks like we're unanimous that Steph is the second best.
No, it ain't, because I had a lot of other guys I picked, but I got outvoted. So, I mean, if it was me,
You
Steph
got
would've been
outvoted on Isaiah and
Oscar, bro. Steph
Oscar.
would have been, he would have been bounced in the second round.
so you would have had Oscar. All right, so who would you pick over Oscar between Oscar and Isaiah? Assuming Isaiah beats Steph, so now Isaiah faces Oscar.
That
Who
would've
do you
been
have in the
Oscar.
finals?
That would have been Oscar.
Okay. Who would you have over Russell between Russell and Oscar?
Ooh.
All right, let's go back. Cam, you answer Oscar or Isaiah?
Isaiah.
Wow. Okay. Oscar or Russell Westbrook?
The triple double thing doesn't do it for me. It doesn't always do it for me. Like I can be all right without the triple double thing. If you're a winner, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're taking Isaiah over Russ too.
Yeah.
Back.
I mean,
And you're taking Oscar over Russ, Cam? Rob, who you taking, Oscar or Russ?
it's for me, like, it's tough because I actually got to see Russ play and I see him.
Russ don't
Yeah,
have no
that's
ring.
why.
That's why I'm like, Russ is over Oscar. But then I know how you're going to spin this into how you're going to say, well, he's just the second coming of Oscar. So that means Kobe is better than Mike because it's the enhance. I already know where this is going to pinpoint and go.
I wasn't gonna go there, but that's a
So
great
I really-
point.
So I
That's a
really don't
solid
even want to.
point.
I really don't even want to say Westbrook just because of that. Yo. Like I know how that can get moved in there, but yeah, I mean I'm gonna go Russ over Oscar, bro. Like I'm gonna go Russ over Oscar.
Copy. So everyone, listen. That is the point guard 1v1 tourney with Hoop Chatter. We have Magic Johnson here. Can you make it real big, Kate? Pause. Magic Johnson. Why are you typing them twice? Oh, Magic is the champion. Oh, she's so on point. Make that name really big on there, Kate, if you could. Just go. Oh, you don't know how? Oh, shoot. Okay. Listen, Magic Johnson is the champion. Cam, I appreciate you coming on and lending your point guard expertise to the podcast. It was a pleasure having you on the last 2 episodes for over an hour each episode. Our special first YouTube episode ever. Cam, you were a part of, so I'm gonna insert my round of applause sound. But we appreciate you coming on, man. We love to have you back, bro.
Appreciate you.
There we go, Cam.
Rob, you gotta work on your decision making, bro. Yeah, I learned a lot about you on this thing, man. I don't know.
Bounce back and forth.
I've known you for almost 10 years now, bro, and I'm just. I don't know if I know you like I thought I know you, but come on,
bro.
I appreciate y'all having me.
You gotta respect the greats, man. Gotta respect the greats. That's all I'm gonna say.
I feel that. I'm actually happy Gil wasn't on this one because this podcast would have went 3 hours.
Me too.
Yo, Gil, man, where you at? You left me hanging, bro.
If we had Gil and Tarka, it would have been good because 5 guys, but it would have took rather long. That would have been better in person. 5 guys in person with the vino would have been a lovely episode.
Yo, what's up with the wine sponsor, by the way, man? BodaBox, where you at?
BodaBox, we want a sponsor, man. We should be looking for Gatorade sponsors, man. Be a role model for the kids.
That's a fact.
But listen, everyone, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this hour-long special of Hoop Chatter with special guest Cam Badger, our college point guard. Kevin Tarka, we miss you. Can't wait to have you back on the next episode of Hoop Chatter. This is episode 16, or was it 17? This is 17.
17,
episode
bro.
17 of Hoop Chatter is
number
in the books. Again, thanks Cam, thanks Gil yesterday. Back to regularly scheduled program. We love you all. Chat later. Peace.